both welfare and growth. This opinion discusses Pakistan's economic challenges and the need for a balanced approach between welfare and growth. Last week on these pages, Khurram Hussain wrote about the rapidly diminishing viability of Pakistan's bailout-dependent economic strategy. Rapidly diminishing means decreasing quickly. Viability means ability to succeed. Bailout-dependent means relying on financial help. Economic strategy is jargon, meaning financial policies. This sentence states Pakistan's economy is struggling due to reliance on bailouts. Global political realignments under the new Trump administration may very well usher in the end, or at least administer a hard squeeze, of multilateral lending. Global political realignments means shifts in international relations. May very well usher in is an idiom, meaning could bring about. Administer a hard squeeze is a metaphor, meaning to reduce or restrict. Multilateral lending is jargon, meaning financial aid from international institutions. This sentence states Trump's policies may end or reduce global financial support for Pakistan. In its absence, the status quo will prove to be untenable. In its absence means if foreign aid stops. Status quo is jargon, meaning the current state. Untenable means impossible to sustain. This sentence states Pakistan's current economic model cannot survive without foreign aid. The economy's lack of viability is already sharply apparent since 2022. Lack of viability means inability to function. Sharply apparent means very clear. This sentence states Pakistan's economic problems have been obvious since 2022. Dollar liquidity in the shape of geostrategic rents are not forthcoming since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Dollar liquidity is jargon, meaning availability of U.S. dollars. Geostrategic rents is jargon, meaning financial benefits from a country's location. Not forthcoming means not arriving. This sentence states Pakistan is not receiving financial benefits after the U.S. left Afghanistan. Neither are any major investment or aid dollars from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and China. Investment means money for business or development. Aid dollars means financial assistance. This sentence states Pakistan is not getting financial help from these countries. The IMF program, while still partly dictated by U.S. foreign policy, is handing out extremely tough targets. IMF program is jargon, meaning International Monetary Fund's financial plan, dictated by means controlled by. Handing out is a phrasal verb, meaning imposing. This sentence states the IMF, influenced by the U.S., is setting strict conditions for Pakistan. Short of a major event that changes Pakistan's position in global politics, these lean times are going to continue. Short of means unless something happens. Lean times is an idiom, meaning economic hardship. This sentence states Pakistan will keep struggling unless something big changes. Fixing the economy to make it grow sustainably without external assistance is the only option left. Grow sustainably means develop in a lasting way. External assistance means foreign aid. This sentence states Pakistan must fix its economy without foreign help. The list of fixes has been proposed many times in the last 3 decades. Our list of fixes means suggested solutions. This sentence states economic reforms have been discussed for 30 years. Reducing wasteful government expenditure through untargeted subsidies and the PSDP, deregulating key prices, offloading state-owned enterprises, expanding the tax base to cover real estate and retail wholesale trade, and removing government involvement in various markets such as agriculture and electricity are all listed as desirable reforms. Wasteful government expenditure means unnecessary spending. Untargeted subsidies means financial support that is not focused. Deregulating means removing government controls. Offloading means selling or transferring. Tax base is jargon, meaning the range of taxpayers. This sentence lists key economic reforms needed in Pakistan. Some of these proposals are essential if for no other reason but to reduce the frequency with which the economy goes bust. Proposals means suggested plans. Goes bust is an idiom, meaning collapses financially. This sentence states some reforms are necessary to prevent repeated economic failures. But these are frequently put forward in a detached and highly technocratic manner. Put forward is a phrasal verb, meaning suggested. Detached means lacking concern. Highly technocratic means focused on technical details. This sentence states reforms are often suggested without considering people's needs. Rarely do we see reform conversations accompanied by any consideration of what the economy is supposed to do for millions of ordinary Pakistanis. Accompanied by means including. This sentence states economic discussions often ignore the needs of common people. The absence of an economic vision linked to the people is a real gap in public discourse. Absence of means lack of. Economic vision means a clear financial plan. Public discourse is jargon, meaning public discussion. This sentence states Pakistan lacks a people-focused economic plan. However, it is one that can be filled by putting forward a progressive agenda for the economy. Putting forward is a phrasal verb, meaning suggesting. Progressive agenda means a plan for social and economic improvement. This sentence states the economic gap can be fixed with better policies. Arguably, such an agenda has been missing for the past several decades. Arguably means some may say, this sentence states Pakistan has lacked a strong economic plan for decades. With the failure of nationalization and state-directed development models, progressive and left-wing views on the economy have mostly remained confined to questions of redistribution and welfare policy. Nationalization is jargon, meaning government control of industries. Redistribution means shifting wealth from rich to poor. Welfare policy means government support for basic needs. This sentence states left-wing economic ideas have focused more on welfare than growth. These have yielded some success through federal interventions such as the BISP cash transfer program and provincial programs such as health service delivery and insurance, education scholarships, public transport, and post-disaster housing provision. Yielded means produced. Federal interventions means government actions. This sentence states government programs have helped in areas like healthcare and education. However, redistribution can only take place if there is something to distribute. This sentence states economic aid is only possible if wealth exists. A stagnating economy produces smaller pools of surplus for the state to collect via taxation and then spend as welfare. Stagnating economy means an economy that is not growing. Surplus means extra money. This sentence states without growth, the government has less to spend on welfare. In its absence, there is no option but to borrow. In its absence means if there is no surplus. This sentence states without economic growth, the government must take loans. The consequences of that strategy are already visible through the large burden of debt servicing, much of it in the service of wasteful expenditure. Debt servicing is jargon, meaning repaying loans. Wasteful expenditure means unnecessary spending. This sentence states Pakistan is struggling to repay debts due to bad spending. Anyone committed to greater equity, social mobility, and improved life chances for Pakistani citizens must then think not just about redistribution, but also about growth and productivity in the economy. Equity means fairness. Social mobility means the ability to improve one's economic status. Productivity means efficiency in producing goods and services. This sentence means economic policies must focus on both fairness and growth. In other words, how do we get economic growth that allows the needs of people to be met? This sentence means the goal should be growth that benefits everyone. One way to tackle this problem is to put the issue of human capital front and center. Human capital is jargon, meaning the skills and education of a workforce. Front and center is an idiom, meaning the main priority. This sentence means improving the workforce should be a top priority. A progressive vision for the economy is one that seeks to unlock growth by raising productivity of the workforce. Our progressive vision means a forward-thinking plan. Unlock growth is a metaphor, meaning to create opportunities. This sentence means economic growth depends on increasing worker productivity, meaning that health and education can no longer be seen as belated welfare concerns, but rather as essential for growth. Belated means delayed or secondary. This sentence means health and education are not just welfare issues, but crucial for economic success. The pursuit of human capital as a central policy would mean a significant shift in government policy. Pursuit means effort or focus. This sentence means prioritizing workforce skills would require big policy changes. It would naturally involve greater attention to and spending on health and education. This sentence means more focus and funding would go to healthcare and education. This sentence means more focus and funding would go to healthcare and education. This can only be achieved by removing elite-biased exemptions and curbing rampant tax evasion by big actors in several sectors, such as real estate and commerce. Elite-biased exemptions means tax benefits favoring the rich. Curbing means controlling. Rampant means widespread. This sentence means tax loopholes for the wealthy must be removed to fund development. But equally, it would also involve finding ways to reduce the tax burden on salaried and working-class households, which is currently harming their chances for social mobility and growth. Tax burden means financial pressure from taxes. This sentence means taxes on lower-income groups must be reduced to improve their economic mobility. In the domain of production, a progressive agenda should focus on sectors where most Pakistanis actually work. Domain of production means industries that create goods and services. This sentence means economic policies should target sectors employing the majority of Pakistanis, meaning that it would involve policy making that improves the surplus generating capacity of small and medium-sized producers in industry and agriculture, which are currently responsible for hosting the vast majority of the labor force. Surplus generating capacity means ability to create extra profit. Hosting the vast majority of the labor force means employing most workers. This sentence means small and medium-sized businesses need better policies to grow. This means undoing policy instruments that favor inefficient large enterprises, blanket subsidies, preferential credit, trade protections in the industrial sector. Undoing means reversing. Blanket subsidies means broad financial support. Preferential credit means easy loans. Trade protections means policies limiting foreign competition. This sentence means policies benefiting inefficient big companies should be changed. In agriculture, it means a rethink of initiatives such as Green Pakistan, which is expected to divert water resources away from producers in other parts of the country. Rethink means reconsideration. Divert means redirect. This sentence means Green Pakistan may take water away from some farmers and needs to be reassessed. Alongside these and other such interventions, it is also important to revise some conventional left-wing wisdom based on the local context. Conventional means traditional. This sentence means left-wing economic ideas should be adjusted to fit Pakistan's reality. What will definitely not work is giving the Pakistani state more control of economic processes. This sentence means government control over the economy is not a good solution. There are public sector bureaucracies in the world that are efficient and accountable, and which can be entrusted with production and distribution of economic goods. Public sector bureaucracies means government-run institutions. Entrusted means given responsibility. This sentence means some countries have efficient government-run economic systems. The Pakistani public sector in its current incarnation has neither of those characteristics. Incarnation means current form. This sentence means Pakistan's government institutions are neither efficient nor accountable. It is essentially unaccountable to citizens. Unaccountable means not responsible to the public. This sentence means the government does not answer to the people. And it has evolved into being highly and rigidly inefficient. Rigidly inefficient means strictly unproductive. This sentence means government institutions have become ineffective over time. Giving it more direct control is simply another way of allowing state officials to distribute benefits to themselves or their clients, as demonstrated by the last several decades. Distribute benefits to themselves means corruption and favoritism. This sentence means more government control would lead to more corruption. Having PIA on government books, for example, has served no growth or welfare purpose for the last 2 decades. On government books means under state ownership. This sentence means PIA has not helped the economy despite being government-run. The same is true for many other entities, especially in the electricity sector. So, entities means organizations or companies. This sentence means other government-owned businesses also fail to contribute to growth. Divestment, privatization, offloading management control. But with basic welfare protections to reduce livelihood shocks is the only viable path forward for the time being. Divestment means selling government-owned businesses. Offloading management control means giving private companies control. Livelihood shocks means sudden job or income losses. This sentence means privatization is necessary but should protect workers. Ultimately, understanding and prioritizing the needs of the citizenry should be the starting point for any conversation around economic reform. Citizenry means the people of a country. This sentence means economic policies should focus on the people's needs first. Pakistanis today require both access to basic welfare services and the opportunity to earn a decent living. Decent living means stable income and financial security. This sentence means people need both social support and job opportunities. Acknowledging this combination will lead to a reform agenda that may actually move the country out of its multi-decade-long development stagnation. Development stagnation means economic growth stopping. This sentence means balancing welfare and growth could help Pakistan escape long-term economic problems. The writer teaches sociology at LUMS. Published in Dawn, March 3, 2025.